I just want to make another video. There's another message coming through. So sometimes when people make spectacles of themselves on the internet or on YouTube, or the things that they're trying to portray or get through, sometimes it's not as it seems, right? That's like the first message. Things are not always as they seem. It's like you could be fun and goofy one day, and then you could be super serious the next. You could be dabbling in tarot cards or crystals, or having lots of caffeine in coffee or tea. You can alter your state, or you've exhausted yourself where you need a couple days off to just rest and recharge. Go into nature, and even, like I do, have background noise, right? The ocean, like a fire in the woods, like a campfire, right? Or birds chirping, or something like meditative music, right? To ascend yourself, to have it as a background, to change your energy. So even if you had like music, like dance music on in the morning when you were like super buff, you're going to the gym, right? You're shifting your energy. So like some days I may be acting super goofy in my videos, and then some days I'm not, right? I guess eye and beholder, but the eye of the beholder, it depends on their sanity. It's just that ad. It says like, oh, there's a lot to do. And I'm like, so keep up. And I'm like, okay, that was a weird ad. There's people partying in the background. I don't know. Weird ads sometimes to try to get you to pay attention. So, but what are you paying attention to in the ads that are playing on the TV? And what type of ads that are coming through just like encourage people that they sit on cold stones so they get hemorrhoids? Like, I've seen a whole bunch of hemorrhoid commercials. I'm like, what? Oh, that must be mean like the area of where they're putting their ads on the television, and the old demographics, right? Right, totally interesting. But that was a message. That was our message. Like, things that I may say that it's a message towards me, but it's a message from me, but it's also a message from other individuals coming through me. Like the Ghost movie, Patrick Swayze and Whoopi Goldberg, like that. There are many videos and movies out there about spirits entering the body. I'm not going to talk about the demonic ones, because why would I? I don't really like dabbling in the dark magic. I'm really not. I'm a light being. I'm here to heal and spread wisdom, right? Slap some wisdom on me today, Emma. Oh, what would you like to hear in the storybook of Emma's world? There, I had to put my ivory tower. It changes the energy sometimes in the best ways possible. So remember, just surround yourself with things that make you feel good, right? May it be stones or things that you would carry in your pocket, wisdom stones, worry stones, things that could protect you, like your necklace. Maybe you wear a cross or something else on your body. Is it silver? Make sure it's silver, right? You don't want some knockoff ring, like the metal that really bends really well. I'm not going to go into that. Yeah, I'm sure that you can go and talk to a silversmith about their work and their rings. So if they're in the business of selling rings, right, and you have someone coming over looking for the mark for making sure that you're selling authentic. Because then why are you selling those rings if you don't believe, or is it just a job? But if you get into a business and sell fake rings, and then the rings crush or rings malform, and it's like, this isn't real silver. I was like, I thought I was getting the real silver. It says, oh, this is sterling silver. I'm like, oh, so it should be really good. So don't fake people about rings, or, sell them good stuff. Don't sell them shit. Or go to a silversmith and ask, what is their silver? How strong is it? Is it good? Right? Ask people questions. Looks can be deceiving as well. Like, for example, I've got these little rings on the side of my head. Right? Whatever. My hair growing out. It happens to everyone. Growing out. Not losing it. Growing. Like, everyone should be growing in life and blossoming their ideas for the better good. For your good. For your well-being. To ascend. Yeah. Message. Oh, my pussy guy's coming out to... Oh, he's eating. I refer to him as a pussycat. Or Murph. Or Murphy. Or Kitty. And I only call him a little baby when he's super cute. Because sometimes he can be a terror. Right? We all have our sides. I can't judge an animal by his personality when we don't communicate by English. But anyways, love your animals, man. We're only here for a short time. Yeah. Anyways, I might pull some cards. I'm thinking, why not? Right? Okay. This will be a short video, anyways. I'm trying to keep them short. Because I'm sure that people don't really want to see the goofy side. And some people do. Some people find it super entertainment. But at the same time, that's not me. I'm really usually shy. So, was I having an off day? Perhaps. And there's a possibility that people are sending me spells. They're watching my videos, and then they're sending spells and things like that, so that they're like, oh, hey, we wanna disrupt her energy, right? So that she's made to look like an idiot and a fool, even though that my past history of all those jobs that I've worked, they're like, how come you're not an engineer? Well, where do you come up with this type of stuff? And I'm like, I just look at it. All right? I look at things. I pay attention. What else can you do with a photographic memory? Right? All the jobs that I've been at, remembering people, places, and things. When they say, oh, it could be people, places, and things, what do you remember, right? What are your dreams? Do you remember your dreams, right? If you were a witness to something, could you remember that detail in your life? Or are you too self-consumed with something else that has happened in your life that you totally fucking forgot, right? And you're like, oh, I don't really remember, I'm not a really good candidate, so for whatever reason, right? But then when you have a spot on, I remember everything and every place that I've ever been in, right? This is for someone. So, just saying, secret agent men, watching, listening. Looks aren't always as they seem, and same with people's character, by the words that they use or their actions. Someone that could Like, for example, I worked at like a Hatfield farm when I was young. And that was a weird experience with a whole bunch of older people and younger people all mixed together. And it was like a horse stable outfit. I don't know if it is anymore. I have no idea. Brian Hatfield was his name. And he was a dick. He was a jerk. Really. I don't know if he's still alive. I have no idea. But his energy was just not cool. And oops, I don't know if I'm supposed to say his name, but there he is. He's out in the open now. But he has a business, so you'd know his name anyways. So I don't think I said anything wrong, unless he's passed down his farm down to his children, if he had any. I don't remember if he did, because I was young at that time. Anyways, back to my story. It was a weird place. Get your horses ready at the horse barn, right near the front, so that people would drive in and they would see like an old western town, like remade. And then you would gear up, and you would get your sign your waiver and get your hat, and then you would go and pick your horse that you wanted, and then you would have a guide to take a trail ride all the way back to I think it was like a half an hour ride, technically, by the main road, or a 15-minute walk on horseback. That was complimentary. Like, you could have gone through the longer version. There was other trails, which was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty cool to have. But I was covered in crap and things like that. I looked like was a stable hand. I was like a volunteer. I was doing everything. And they're like, "Oh, Emma, you gotta go and clean up." And so I go and clean up, and then they're shocked of what they see, and they're like, "What? I'm like, who are you? Like, you clean up really well." I'm like, "Thanks." They're like, "You could like do like so many different things." I'm like, "Okay, that's great. Good to know." And I can. Right? It's not like me trying to be promoting myself, but you can too, right? The things that you have done in your life, are many, many different layers, right? So what you're seeing or what you're reading about someone, or a perspective of someone else's opinion on someone that you don't even know, right? And they don't even know you. This person doesn't even know you, but you know that person that they're telling you. I'm like, why are they so comfortable on telling you this other person's life? And why does that other person want to know what this person is telling them, instead of actually going and asking the person, just like getting to know the other person, right? Don't be too quick to judge. Everybody likes to judge and all that kind of stuff, but they don't want to go to the main person and ask them questions. And it's like, you're going to sit down and listen to my life, and I'll tell you all about it. And then you can judge for yourself. You can judge for yourself. So you can go through every little detail of my life. And I'm like, okay, let's go through every little detail, and I'll remember it for you. Okay. It's like, majority of the time, the people that said that they were there were never there. And put me into situations, and that I'm sure that everyone else can also feel the same way. That they've been put into situations by other people's doing, and they got trapped into it. And then they either internalized it and said, okay, well, this is just the norm, or I'm going to branch out. It's like, fuck this shit. And then you reach out to people to get their support and their help, and they don't want to fucking help you until you reach out to a church. And then the church will help you, right? And remember, it's not necessarily the type of church. okay? If you're needing help, right? Even if the government doesn't want to help you, your own fucking government. You know, if I go and try to go get help from like Alberta Works or something like that, you know what they'll look at my resume? They'll say that you can go back to work. We're not giving you any money. Look at your resume. You got for long year, an oil field, an oil field, an oil field, an oil field, an oil field. Holy shit. Like, of course, no, and I can't even get a fucking job at like Tim Hortons or anything like that, because you know why? They look at my resume and they're like, we don't want to employ you. We really don't. We don't want to employ you because look at your resume, look at your past history. We go back on everybody's like jobs, right? You look at their jobs. What have they done in their life to prove to themselves and prove to other people that they have a track record of being pretty fucking loyal and putting themselves in really good jobs that they've wanted, but through the times, you know, there's been some hard hiccup times at a certain point or period in your life, right? And you wonder, like, they fell off the turnip truck. Like, where did they go? They were working for, like, BC Ambulance, and then they just dropped off. At that pivotal point, I found out that my military husband, boyfriend, whatever he was, fucking cheated on me in Manila with a lady boy, and to each their own, right? But he had the fucking nerve to lie to me and treat me like shit when I spent 9 months of my life, like 9 months of each and individual time. Your time matters. Remember that. But don't abuse the power of your time. Message. Right? The end of the story is like, you're working all these amazing jobs and then you dive down and shit at that point, and you're like, why did that happen? What shift has happened? And then you get in between jobs, and then you go, it's like, well, I'm gonna try to be self-employed for a few years. I'm like, okay, well, I'm okay. How can you do things? How can you trust yourself? What experiences do you have that you could lean upon? So doing many different things isn't necessarily a bad thing. But knowing the character of the person and not judging the person just by looks, right? Or how they use certain key and sight words in their daily life to ascend themselves. I think I'm going to leave it off there. And thank you for listening. Peace, light, and love. And enjoy the day. Thanks.